We're on page 26. Again, Siman Ches, and we're in the middle, I believe, of the Mishnah Berurah. Now, again, we're discussing the halachas of tzitzis, and the Machaber said you have to, and that's the halacha, you have to be wrapped, encased, wrapped, mi'utaf, in the tzitzis. So we're in the middle of Mishnah Berurah Daled. That's what we're trying to get to, long Mishnah Berurah. So number one is we spoke about that, and this is going to be important for later, that when you wrap yourself, and you see people making this mistake, that when they do wrap themselves in the talus, when they first put on the talus on, now again, we'll talk today how you wrap yourself in the talus, but at Maisa, when they're wrapped, they just wrap themselves and then take it apart right away, put it down right away. So we saw in the Mishnah Berurah says that you have to remain wrapped in the talus for enough time to walk 4 amos. Now again, that's, 8 feet, 7, 8 feet, not that much, but l'maisa, it's not a second. I don't know how long it takes to walk 8 feet. A couple of seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds, I don't know. But l'maisa, people are not aware that they have to, when they wrap themselves in the talus, they have to do so for a few seconds. And then we also discussed, again, this is a discussion of the Arizal, that the talus should cover the tefillin shel rosh. Now again, maybe to make this clear. Now this is talking about you put on the talus first. We will talk about that, and then you put on your tefillin. Now again, you can't have anything on the tefillin. So we're talking about after you put on the shel rosh, do you pop the talus over your head? Right. So the Mishnah Berurah is bringing down from the Arizal that again your head should be covered with the talus, and the talus should be so much on your head that it covers the shel rosh. Now the Mishnah Berurah then brought down, that we'll see later in Siman Chav Zayin, that shouldn't cover the shel rosh completely. And as we discussed, because the pasuk says, "Berurah kol ha'mayos kishem Hashem nikra lecha," the Goyim will see that the name of Hashem is on you. Chazal say that's referring to tefillin. So there's an inyan, again, not the shel yad. The shel yad you can have completely covered, which a lot of people do, right? Cover with they don't have to, but again, cover with their shirt sleeve or jacket sleeve or something like that. But the shel rosh should be exposed somewhat. It should be exposed so it's seen. Okay. Now, let's continue in the Mishnah Berurah. Now again, we're in the middle, so it's hard to describe. We're in the middle of Mishnah Berurah Daled. If you look in the middle of the Mishnah Berurah Daled, there's a Shar Atzion test, a little test. It says, Ein Sof Siman Chav Zayin, Dal Kopam Lo Yachasek Magamre. Right? That's his quote, where he cites Siman Chav Zayin, where the Mishnah Berurah is going to say the halach is going to say that the shel rosh should not be completely covered. Now here it comes. B'shas atifa, that when you're doing the atifa, the wrapping, how do you do it? Machasa rosho behatalis. You should cover your head with the talis ad yagia ad piv, and you bring it so far forward. In other words, again, we're talking about when you're about to. We haven't made the bracha yet, but you're about to wrap yourself in the talus. So you take the talus all the way forward, enough so that it gets to your mouth, goes all the way to your lips. Some people kiss it, the edge of the talus when it gets there, mashlich, and then you cast. Kol ha'arba tzitzios l'tzad small. Then again, you take the 4 tzitzis, they're in front of you, right? They're hanging in front of you, and then so in other words, you bring, those of you who are on Zoom, you bring the talus forward up to your lips. Now in front of you, you have the 4 tzitzis in your hand, all 4, We'll see about this later that all four, there should be two in front and two in back. But right now, you have all four in front of you, and then you cast them over your left shoulder, kedei hiluch arba amos. As I said before, and here the Mishnah says it very clearly, and you stay that way enough time that you could potentially walk 4 amos. So again, so you bring it forward, and then you have all 4 tzitzis in front, and then you put it over your left shoulder. Ve'achar kach, and after that, you've left it enough time to walk 4 amos, then Yasir hatifa ad shal shal rosh yed niraksas, and then you put it down until, let's say you have the tefillin on, you could see the tefillin. V'amid kol arba tzitzios al mekomo, and then right you had all 4 tzitzis together in front, and then you put over your shoulder. Then you bring it down, and then you allow the 4 tzitzis to be in their proper place, which means, as we'll learn, that we'll learn this in Daled, 2 tzitzis should be in front, and 2 tzitzis like on the side or in back. I don't want, right, in the back when we're talking about talis gadol. So you allow them to go back to their place again, meaning because I had them all in front. I had all 4 in front of me, cast them over my left shoulder, and then put it down. And then he says, "Kedis b'siv daled v'zeu atifa shiyotzim ba l'chulei alma." And the Chavetz Chaim says that if you do it this way, you fulfill the mitzvah of ituf according to everyone, according to all opinions. V'lo kamoshe noagim eza anashim shemoshchin hatalas al atzma ad shemegia harosh l'chatzi orech hatalas u'mesasim bo. And then the Mishnah Berurah cries a different way of doing it. Now it's very interesting. I don't really know how to describe it. Rav Moshe didn't do it this way. Rav Moshe, he wore the talis the regular way. He put it on top of his head. I never saw him do it, but I saw in MTJ, I saw Rav David Zechatzal Groch actually do it this way. And then he took the tzitzis on his right, that are on the right side. So in other words, he's just wearing the talis, right? It's not folded over his shoulders. It's hanging down. And then he took the tzitzis that was on the right side and cast it over his, just not all 4. Mishnah Berurah is saying you take all 4 and you put them over your left shoulder. Rav Moshe Zechatzal Rocha evidently did. The tzitzis were on his head. He had the talis over his head and hanging down. Then he took the corner, the front right corner, and he put it over his left shoulder. Put that over his left. Just that front right tzitzis and the corner over his left shoulder. That's all he did. I remember I saw Rabbi Blue Zechatzal Rocha. What he did is he told us once he learned in other yeshivas. Then later he came to Rav Moshe and never left from Rav Moshe. So when I saw him once putting on his talis, maybe more than once, I don't remember, but definitely once. And what he did is he did both. In other words, first he did the Mishnah Berurah way, all 4 in front, and then over the left shoulder, all 4. Then he allowed it to come down. Then he picked up the corner that sits in the right corner, and then put it over his shoulder. He did both. So I never asked him why. I assume the reason is that he started many years doing like the Mishnah Berurah. Then he became a Talmud Rav Moshe. So he wants to do like Rav Moshe. So I assume that. I never asked, but that's the story. So again, this is very, very important because you can't just, you have to be misatef. You have to wrap yourself in the tzitzis. So again, these are the 2 possibilities. The Mishnah Berurah way, the Chavetz Chaim way, all 4 are in front of you and you cast them over your left shoulder. Or, again, the Rav Moshe way that you have the talis on you and you cast just the front right tzitzis over your left shoulder. Then the Mishnah Berurah says, if you look at the end of the Mishnah Berurah Daled, Mashma v'Gemara shebachar hayamachasa rosh v'talis afilu. Shebachar lo haya machasa rosh v'talis afilu talmid chacham. A bachar, meaning somebody who's not married, did not cover his head with a talis, even if he was a talmid chacham. So now again, we'll see about this later when we get to Siman Yud Zayin, Siv Katan Yud in the Mishnah Berurah, about the idea about someone who's not married wearing a talis. So there's different minhagim. So we'll see from the Mishnah Berurah later. It seems from the Mishnah Berurah that he advocated people who are not married wearing a talis, but that's not the Yekis do that. They do, like the Mishnah Berurah says, that somebody who's not married does not wear the talis over his head, but they wear a talis, right? Once they become bar mitzvah, even before they're married, they wear a talis. But that's not the minhag. The minhag is that, again, there's different minhagim. But a lot of people, the yeshiva, they don't wear a talis. Now the question is going to be, now we're saying the mitzvah of wearing tzitzis is an ituf, right? So now the problem is, if let's say you have a guy who's not married, right, from bar mitzvah to whatever time, whatever age, so during all those years, how do you do the mitzvah of atifa with a talis katan, with a little pair of tzitzis, right, that we wear under our shirt? How do you do ituf? So now again, the main mitzvah is ituf. So if you're not wearing a talis gadol, so then, and again, the Mishnah Berurah is going to talk about this. So then, this person is not doing the mitzvah of tzitzis in the classic, in the way it's supposed to be done, kalacha. Okay, yashakach, everyone. We have to stop here. Yashakach. It was an amazing Kanai year learning Mishnah Berurah with you. And especially this year when we were Messiahim, another machzor of learning Mishnah Berurah. Me'er Hashem, we should continue in Tavshin Pei Beis, Kol Mechayel Chayel, and continue our journey through the Mishnah Berurah. Yashkak everyone, ksiva tova, l'alter chaim tova.